ladies and gentlemen, this is a Digestif. It has been a long time. We do know that we don't deserve to have a following. We're not expecting you to follow us. But for those of you that have listened, for those of you that have enjoyed, we're back and we're going to start producing more content. We promise you. We're talking about Seth because he might be one of the newest members that live in the studio where we produce this show. I do not live here. Not saying I'm happy about that. I think I would be a great roommate here. But
my God, you'd be amazing.
That's you don't know the deeds, the devil's in the details, Robbie. The devil's in the details. I have gotten cleaner, but I'm not the best. But we might have Seth be joining us. He doesn't know this yet, but we're gonna make a pitch.
Seth would be a great addition. I mean, he works right down the street. There's so many reasons.
You're the man of this household, and nobody has ever questioned that. Even when Lucas had lived here, he always turned the torch over to you. What are like 2 to 3 bullet points that, as the man of the household, you would need? What are the expectations if Seth was to move in here and join what you're doing here?
I mean, it's just so different for him versus anyone else. But like with him, I would like be providing great tutelage, because like I
like that word. Can we break that down a little bit? What does tutelage mean under Robbie Sco's supervision?
So yeah, just all kinds of audio and video production, right? So right here,
great skill to have.
Yeah,
great skill to have.
Yeah, we got like the camera tech, and he was like taking quickly to like learning some video editing techniques. He was like interested to learn that. And
is he versed in any of this yet? Or if he got good at these things,
he's got some tech skills.
This would all be a new skill, or it would be growing a pre-existing skill.
Growing a pre-existing, because he had some, and like I've helped him get started with like some recording. Like he has some experience with recording. Like he has a little mixer and stuff we brought to Miami, and so like that would be good. But
so that there's a huge value here for him. He would be getting free lessons that you normally charge, or at least you should be charging a pretty penny for your brain. An hour with Robbie Sco, I get this for free because I'm a privileged shit. I don't deserve this friendship, but an hour with Robbie's brain, I mean, that's at least 300-400. 300-400 an hour for your brain. Seriously, for your expertise and all the equipment that's here that would be at his fingertips, if he can just understand that the lease agreement is going to be at least 3.5 years. That's all it is.
That's bullet point one.
Bullet point 1, 3.5-year lease agreement, and he needs to be clean. You need to be, as the man of the household, the dirty one, because this is your home. He needs to keep the bathroom up to par. I think that's fair.
Very fair.
I don't disagree with that, and I think he would respond to that nicely. He seems like a clean gentleman. 3.5-year lease, be a little clean. Be a wingman. You deserve a wingman that is gonna just send you leads. You know what I mean? Like that's something that will complement your life.
He's great, and he's very like complimentary when we're out in public. He'll always, as one does, like you'll shit on yourself. You'll be like, oh yeah, I suck, but he's great, and like he'll be very, very nice about it. He's good.
Such a good approach, man. A very safe approach. He doesn't make people feel uncomfortable. You got me too late. I'm not a good wingman anymore now. I'm just married. It's made me more awkward the longer I'm married. I'm so shot. I wish that we had each other, 5-6 years ago, but we didn't, right? But the reality is my ego has gone down to a little sunflower seed, and I don't have the confidence I used to have. So Seth could be that person, but that is to be seen, guys. A lot going on because it's just been so long without an episode, so it's easy to have a lot going on. I am going to the dentist today.
Ooh.
Part 2 of my yearly clean, which hadn't happened in about 4 years.
Ooh, yeah. Part two.
No cavities. I don't
calves.
think.
That's
no
awesome.
calves at all. Very, very privileged teeth I have. Always never needed braces. Never had tooth problems. My mother was on me about, consistency in the teeth brushing department. But, I really don't deserve the teeth I have because I've been on and off. I don't floss enough. And this woman, I found the perfect dentist because she's great. She's a real rugged broad. She knows that there were some skeletons in my mouth. When I opened up and I told her, I said, full transparency, you're gonna look inside here, miss. It's not good. And I just want to tell you, I thank you ahead of time. And she's like, oh baby, she's like, it's been a long pandemic, honey. Yeah, did you have any idea the shit I've seen? That's what you said to me. I go, no, do tell. Do tell. She's like, oh man. She's like, something about a pandemic. Everybody just forgot to take care of their mouth. I'm like, wow. That is interesting. Something about staying at home. Nobody was going to the dentist apparently. And she's like, some of the shit I've cleaned out. She approached my mouth like a janitor at like a jail, just coming in with a mop bucket going, all right, where's the puke? Where's the shit? Let's clean it out. She found some deep little black specks in my mouth that I hadn't been able to brush out probably since 2018. Oof. And she said, this is a 2-part clean. That's what she said. She goes, this is a 2-part job. She's like, this is a job, right? She called my mouth a job. That's how you know it's been too long. She's like, this is a 2-part job. So we're going to go in there with the laser water the first time. We're going to brush all this out. Your gum's going to be on fire. She's like, so I can't finish this clean without completely fucking up your mouth. So she's like, we're going to schedule a 2-week appointment from now so your gums can heal before I put any other shit in here. And this is how we're going to. And I'm like, absolutely. And then I looked at her, I go, I like you. I really like you. This is my dentist. This is the dentist, not that I asked for, but this is what 100% the dentist I deserve. It's someone that can just be like, listen, we all make mistakes. You know, like that's what she said to her. She knew that I was self-aware about the shortcomings in my mouth. And she's like, we all make mistakes. We'll get you back. She's like, but if you don't stay on top of this, you do have pre-forming gum disease. We could stop it in its tracks right now and you're fine. But if you keep going like a piece of shit, casual gum disease in your 40s, it's coming down the pipeline. So I just appreciated the honesty.
Did they give you any of the, like the gas, any like the drugs to calm you down?
I think that's happening today.
Today?
I think
Nice,
part 2's
nice.
today. So more of the intense stuff. She couldn't even get me there. She's like, we had to just resolder everything.
Mm-hmm.
We had to just get this up to code. So the first one, she said, health department came in, you got a D rating. So we had to get this kitchen up to code. That's what I kind of related to, right? Once the kitchen's up to code, now we can cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
So today we're making a new menu. We're coming out with a new menu in a clean kitchen, but the kitchen wasn't up to code. That's what happened.
The last time I had the gas, I had a pretty wild experience. I just I felt like I was in there for so long. I had like a whole ass relationship. Like I felt like it was like a month. Like
Okay.
and like I met this like person. I was going and there was like beach involved and
Sure.
like we even fought in this like gas out thing.
All right, back that up a little bit. You're saying a lot of things, right? So you had an incident in a room full of gas. How'd you get yourself there?
Oh no! So this is like at the dentist when they got like they knocked me
I
out.
thought you went to a different direction. I'm sorry about that.
No.
So they knocked you out and they started doing a whole bunch of shit. What were they doing?
Knocked me out. I think it was just a typical cleaning. I've been pretty clean, no cavities. So I think I forget what it was. It was probably, who knows, maybe wisdom teeth removal or something not too crazy.
That's a rough one. I had that done
maybe it was that.
about 6-7 years ago. The guy couldn't get the last one out. He started yanking. Thank God I was shot up like to the gills with Novocaine, but he was yanking on number 4. Wisdom tooth number 4 was not budging. And like that's what they do. They just literally yank the shit out of it. Finally got it out of my mouth. So you all wisdom teeth are removed for you?
All set.
Good. That's you start biting on your gums, right? When you don't get them removed. I think that's what happened to me. I started like my skin and the inside of my mouth started bleeding because the teeth were too far back. So I start gnawing on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's just, public service announcement. There's something I like the idea though. The one thing I don't agree with is I think the teeth whitening's overrated. I do. I think a lot of people are doing that. I don't need my mouth to look like fucking Gucci Mane. You know, I don't need it to sparkle as I'm walking down the street. And then the people that do, they feel the constant need to keep their mouth open like that. They have like the wide, like looking at you. The way they smile, they look like a meth addict. The way they smile because they want you to see their pearly whites. It's like, I like a nice European mouth. I'm 100% European mutt.
Nice little yellow tint.
I work in the wine industry. I've come from a French restaurant group. I like old world wine. I like French, Italian, Spanish wine. I like a good European mouth. I like a couple little fangle teeth on the side that have been carved down the wrong way over time because I don't know how to like not chew on my gums when I sleep at night. That's what I have on the side. I have little vampire fangs. I have a nice tint of light straw yellow going across all my front teeth. And it's impossible to get rid of because all that's on my teeth all day, every day is coffee, wine, coffee, wine, coffee, wine. Acidity, more acidity. Acidity, more acidity. No sugar. I have a vitamin water once every couple weeks when I'm done playing in a failed men's league basketball game, and it's like a sugar rush because I don't consume sugar. Way too much acidity. My teeth are in a constant state of like burnt yellow, and I've accepted it. I don't need the whites. I think it matches my identity to have a European mouth.
Yeah, just keep it classic, keep it original.
Right? I think the European mouth is coming back too. It's just the teeth whitening is really in right now. But I've heard stories. It's not great for the teeth. Some of the treatments aren't so great. Weakens the enamel. Heard that. We need to go back to a nice European mouth because there's something about a European mouth that says confidence. You know,
Exactly.
And it's like this is what it is. Take it or leave it. My teeth aren't falling out of my mouth, but yeah, they're yellow. They're going to be a nice burnt straw yellow, and that's what it is.
The treatment does feel a little strange too. 'Cause I had an ex-girlfriend who would get the teeth whitening thing, and she's like, "Yeah, try this on, try this." So I tried like rub it all on and get there. You feel like just like sting and just like burn.
It's like, what
in
is
there.
it? You feel like some chemical is getting into my enamel of my teeth.
Yeah, similar treatment with like dyeing my hair. I dyed my hair blonde one time.
Of course you did.
With this like cosmic psychedelic older lady who was like very hippy dippy and fun.
Yeah,
She's like,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'll dye your hair, honey." Yeah,
You definitely had an
in the home, like
you had
in
an
a home.
M&M stage. You did. We all did.
But it was just
We're two skinny white guys. We had an M&M stage.
she lathered so much on. It was like burnt. Like, is this supposed to like burn like crazy? Like it was just like searing my scalp.
The early days of hair dye were rough. They were rough. A lot of chemicals because my wife now, she's bright red hair. That ain't natural. She's dark brunette. Dark brunette Italian girl from Lowdown, New Jersey. Not good, right? She has bright red hair and it doesn't burn her anymore. I think the treatments have improved. But that was a very early 2000s type of treatment. Put some like some acid in your scalp, and next thing you know, your hair's bright blonde.
I love a dyed hair. Love that hair. Love a purple head of hair. You seen many purple heads of hair
I do like
around?
a purple head of hair. There's something nice about seeing a purple head of hair. It makes me want to, throw a brick into the governor's office. It's a really nice Portlandia type of feel that makes you feel like you want to just overthrow things and not know what to do once they are overthrown. There was no forethought put in the overthrowing, but you know that you need to overthrow it.
Exactly. I love this. I think this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Sterling Torres. Got that bright purple, maybe a hint of blue.
Oh, she's beautiful. That is your type too. Very like, maybe like 1-2% body fat. A little bit toned. Has some nice muscular activity going on, so that she will definitely make you her bitch in bed, but you will still be able to satisfy her on a number of levels.
Yeah. So me and Seth went to one of her shuffle dance classes in New York. It was a lot of fun.
She's shuffling. She is shuffling.
She's a beast. And we didn't realize it was an advanced class. So we show up and they're just like,
yeah.
"All right, here's the first like 20 seconds of dance."
That is your type right there. How do you meet her? Like how do we do a better job of having you two meet in a non-creepy fashion?
I mean, there was an interesting thing. I actually had Seth take a video because I was at her class and then she was just, always at full speed, like always going like 5, 6, 7, 8. And me and Seth weren't the only ones that were just like a little taken aback by her advances. So I approached her afterwards. I had Seth film it, and I was like, "Hey, thanks, great class, awesome job, great to meet you." And I also had a keytar on at the time, so like she was interested.
Of course,
she was like, "Oh, I need to meet that guy later."
That's like your little fur baby. It's like walking around with a little chihuahua as a woman. You're like, "Oh, how cute!" Or a guy that walks a little dog. So it's a chick magnet, right? Your chick magnet is a nice little keytar. So you had that in place, and she noticed it.
Oh yeah.
What was the reaction?
Exactly. "Oh, you're just good." She's like, "Oh, I got to meet you," blah blah blah. And then also like in the beginning of the class, she like played the song, and then she's like, "Let me know what you guys notice about this song." And then no one said anything. She's like, "All right, let me know what you noticed." And no one said anything. So I was like, "All right, okay, what comes to my head?" So yeah, so it was like, like 8-bar build up and like 16-bar verse and then 15-bar. She's like, "Oh, we got a producer." And everyone laughs.
So there's definitely an appreciation. There's a connection. You two have a respect of each other's art. So that's the foundation right there.
Yeah, and what I went into when I had Seth film, because I was showing her, yeah, this is cool. So there's this really great application for the phone you can use. It's called Amazing Slowdowner. So you can go in and you can like mark where the different tempos are.
She showed you this.
I was showing her this.
Oh, okay. So now
I was giving her a
you're
little
locked in
tutorial.
now. Yeah, you got your claws in on her. Now you're talking about next level production equipment that can only be found in Bushwick. You're in.
Helping her. Yeah, I try to help like her classes,
Yeah.
being able to like change the speed of different things.
Lovely. So then this has been an established relationship. You guys know of each other. You think fondly of each other.
Oh, she's got a man, but she's just that purple hair dye is just Every time I see that on my Instagram feed, it's just like whoa.
Well, here's the thing about the purple hair. That is a person that needs a certain type of partner, right? Not everybody.
He has green hair.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the only side of that is two rights sometimes can make a wrong, right? It's just like two wrongs don't make a right. Two rights can make a wrong. If you both have that kind of, if you both think purple and green hair is acceptable, there's no one to anchor the other one in. And you have just enough creativity where you could be that anchor, but you still have a regular head of hair. So we'll see where that goes. I still have faith in that. I have faith. What else? What else is new? The weather is finally warming up. It's been a long, slow end of this winter. It's been cold. It's been rainy. Mm-hmm. This is a town that needs to be outside. This is a very Instagrammable type of town. There's a lot of people here that are either currently working as influencers or trying to be influencers. A lot of people talking about going on hot girl walks. That's a thing.
Really?
Yeah. There was an influencer that wanted to partner with our bar, actually, and I watched one of her stories, and she said that she had to go for a hot girl walk in the morning. I was very confused, right? Apparently what it is, it's just like, it's not an intense walk. It's actually a very lackadaisical walk, but it's a walk while you're on social media and while you're hashtagging what's going on in the walk, right? And you're technically walking, so you're technically burning calories, so technically you're becoming a hot girl, hence the hot girl walk. But it is a term, and you see it in this town. As soon as the weather comes out, the social media monsters emerge from their cavalcades and they start to walk down Main Street. It's very interesting.
Exactly. And they even had, it's just so dependent on the weather, how many people come out. But ladies' night was good.
Ladies' night was not for us. You know what I mean? Like, ladies' night is for that dive bar that just is like, get him in, get him out. Come in, one drink, go out. Like, we need to sit people. There needs to be an ambiance. There needs to be there needs to be a basic respect for human life. I'll say that.
Yeah, not like a taco bar. Like, oh, you want 3 chicken? Okay, next. You want 3 steak?
We had one squad of like 15 broads, 15 lovely ladies that were on the same page, came walking in, took their featured drink we were doing, and they did not feel they had to pay. There was some sort of miscommunication that they didn't have to pay, but the company that put it together was super professional, and they came the next day and paid for the open tab for me. But it was just like it was a bit like the Monster Mash, you know. It was waves. It was almost like waves on the beach, you know. It was kind of like the Battle of Normandy, you know. You had to get the first 2 waves. You could defend against them. You could deal with the energy that was coming in instead of it being us trying to gain control over the northern part of France in World War II. It was us trying to accommodate these very intense, lovely women doused in pink, already 8 drinks in, wearing cowboy boots in New Jersey. This was the group that was coming in on the little bicycle carts that you normally see in cities like Nashville and places where people go on bachelorette parties and stuff. Yeah. So they come running in. There's just waves of them, right? So as a food and beverage person, you got through the first 2 waves, and now you're getting a little tired. You're starting to get your actual regular guests are coming in too, so you're running out of seating. 3rd wave came in. We couldn't survive the 3rd wave. We had nowhere to put these people, and the 3rd wave was the drunkest. So they were the angriest, and they just decided to go into the store and buy some light beer and drink it outside by the bushes, which I thought was nice. I thought that fit what was going on, and I supported them doing that. I said 100%. I said, I don't think we can take care of you, nor do you think that we want to take care of you. Let's just have a mutual understanding. So yeah, girls' night was very much like the Battle of Normandy.
Yeah, but we're getting much closer to just having like a busier town, because like in March there was 1 or 2 days.
Oh yeah,
I think it was like a Friday where it was just so nice out, and then I was just walking around before we went to play at the bar. I went around the main street. I'm like, this is like a different town when the sun is out.
Exactly. It's a completely different place because it's a place that can, what this town needs is to draw from the New Brunswick crowd, because New Brunswick's in a great place and it's already a college town, and you got to get the people to drive 10 minutes over this way. And the only way to do that is weather, right? Because there's nothing to really take advantage of in the weather in New Brunswick. It's kind of like, it's that city that looks like it was just, part of it was just built yesterday, and then part of it was a very small city for many years. It's kind of like if I woke up out of a blackout and I was in the middle of New Brunswick. What I like about New Brunswick is if I had to, if you had to say like, guess where you are, I would be like, oh, am I in like Minnesota, or maybe I'm in like, I don't know, Charlotte, like a secondary city that's kind of built up but not really there, but has enough going on. That's New Brunswick, right? So it's got that city vibe, where this has a town vibe, a towny vibe, an outside vibe. We're very reliant on that. But
I wonder if New Brunswick could like help out, like if a New Brunswick vibe in Somerville will be possible as far as like a late night thing, or even in Morristown, another like nearby town that has late night stuff. Like, is there a possibility for Somerville to get some like till 2 a.m. stuff?
Yeah, but they got some building to do. They got to build up a little bit, and it's going to take away all of the loveliness and charm of the current situation. If they build this town up a little bit, it's going to take away all the charm, right? So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I think it's going to be inevitable, because just like every great thing in this country, it 100% comes to an end. So this town is, I think, 75% towards its climax. In the next like 5-6 years, it's going to climax. It's going to climax hard. And then it's going to and then they're going to start to overbuild, and then it's going to come right back down. It's going to be like, and the next thing you know, people are going to like, they're not going to see the value of traveling here from Philly or from, South Jersey or from the shore. They're just going to stay down the shore. That's the good thing about the shore. You can't overbuild on the shore because there's just too many flood zones. You can only build so much, or the next hurricane's going to come in and ruin everything you've built. But towns like this don't have that problem. So it's going to climax. The next 5-6 years are going to be fun. It's going to be a slow, steady downturn where everyone's going to talk about what used to be, and there's going to be a lot more office buildings going up, a lot more places trying to be like the lovely rooftop bar down the street. A lot more versions of that are going to try and not really succeed, right? But whereas that one's going to kind of exist, the next ones are going to be like 50% of that. So they're going to open, and then they're going to realize they can only be open like 2 days a week because no one else sees the value in a $25 margarita on a rooftop overlooking a valley and trees on a Thursday for like a couple $100 to get a couple meatballs on a plate with a little bit of a cream sauce. You call it Polish meatballs, but it's bullshit. It's like some fettuccine Alfredo store-bought bullshit. You put on a couple Swedish meatballs. You're not even supposed to go on Swedish meatballs. It's actually supposed to be like a berry sauce that makes a nice like sweeter Swedish meatball, but it's going to be a bunch of fusions and flavors that don't make sense because there's going to be a chef that's on the back nine of his or her career. I'm talking like mid-late 40s, right? Should have already did a food truck already. Should have started their own catering company internally already. Hadn't done it yet because they hadn't had the balls. So instead, they take back nine type of jobs, help get this place open. They don't really want to be there any more than the place wants them there. Neither partnership is happy in the current partnership. So what does the chef do? He or she, they dial it in. They come up with some horse shit. Shishito peppers, easy, right? Swedish meatballs with confusing sauce, easy. Tuna tartare, loaded up with mango and avocado. So you give like 1 ounce of tuna, easy. These are easy dishes to execute and be a douchebag about, right? What are some other ones? Chicken skewers. Oh, you can say they're kebabs, or you can say that the rub is the same style as the halal guys. Everyone knows that's horse shit. That one's easy.
Mozzarella roasted red pepper.
Oh, let's build the menu, right? We're going to build the menu. Mozzarella roasted red pepper. We're going to call it burrata. It's actually just going to be sliced smoked mozzarella. It's full of shit. There's no burrata intensity to it. Is the burrata made in house? Can you stop asking so many goddamn questions? That's the next item, right? And then there needs to be some sort of a steak component.
Yeah, a little
top loin. Sliced, shitty cut.
Even like sliced, like almost bruschetta type shape with like little like fillets on it, or some sort of ground beef on it.
We call it
cheese.
Sliced steak. Is it a strip? Is it a fillet? It's prime. That's what you say. You go, it's prime. Okay, is it prime for what? What does that mean? It's grass fed as well. What does that mean? You're starting to annoy me. It's grass fed, prime. It's sliced. You get it with a little bit of like a Chipotle mayo horse shit. It comes on a bed of like wannabe cream spinach, and you bring that out.
Farm raised.
You say all those words. Did you watch the documentary from the guy that did Super Size Me? He did one about the chicken industry. Very fascinating.
Yeah, Luke showed me a little bit of that. Yeah,
you saw that?
How easy it was to
say you're farm, to say that you're free range.
Oh yeah,
free range chicken just means that if you have a bunch of captive chickens in a closed barn, if you open a little 5x5 area and put a fence about 2 feet out into the outside, technically the chicken sees sunlight. That means it's free range. That means the chicken had free range to see the light of day. That's what free range actually means. And they beef up the chickens where they all start having heart attacks. Purdue and all these companies. That's why all the chicken wings are always all coked out of their minds, or not coked out, on fucking steroids, because they just beef them up with this type of they're all eating like some sort of a grain protein.
Jeez.
They're eating like a meat substance. Chickens aren't meant to eat like ground beef. These chickens have like a Taco Bell diet, and they just get beefed up out of their minds. And then the ones that don't have heart attacks yet, they take those ones in after 6 weeks and they produce chicken. It's insanity.
That's rough. I did try vegan for a short stint.
Yeah.
Short stint.
Did you? What was the deal breaker? Was it more of an identity crisis, or you just felt sickly?
You mean that broke it to bring me back?
Yeah.
At one point, I went back home, and then Pranzizi had we've been doing it together. The whole vegan challenge.
You and her did a vegan challenge together.
Yep.
Very
and
nice.
But then one day I got home, and then she just had this huge, delicious, great smelling lamb. She's just like, "I'm done. Eat this lamb. It's great." I was like, "Ah, no." All right.
I kind of respect her for that.
Yeah,
I
right.
respect her for that. She's like, let's all grow up. That's what she said to you. You're trying to do the right thing. Like, can we fucking grow up? That was probably the highlight of your relationship. You were like, you looked at her in that moment. You're like, yeah, we're going to fucking grow up.
Yeah.
Put our big boy pants on. Have some curated lamb. Yeah. Is it grass fed? I'm sure it is.
It's free range.
Sure it is. Free range. It did see the light of day. Yeah, that was a wild documentary. Eye-opening. And that's just like the food industry. There's going to be so many things like that are going to become more exposed. It's kind of like what you're doing with DJing, right? You're exposing DJs that don't actually have talent by picking this up and taking all of your musical talent and doing your own curated piano-based techno vibe DJ set. You are probably making a lot of DJs feel slightly uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm not on any sort of radar, but it's interesting being able to hop in. It's fun, and it'll be fun to play even in Somerville too.
Yeah, you don't want to rub their nose in it, but what you're doing is something unique, right? You're building that unique. You should we should do that one night at the bar. Have you do a DJ set on a Saturday night from 10 to 12 when I have a couple late parties coming in.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
Have you spinning? Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Yeah, one of my my biggest inspirations is this dude FKJ, which stands for French Kiwi Juice.
Of course it does.
Fucking love that guy. Yeah. And I'm kind of working towards, which is why I'm not impressed with myself. I know I can do better. But what this guy does is freaking awesome.
So this is French Kiwi Juice.
Yeah. So we're seeing this nice dimly lit stage, and he's got his DJ controllers.
Okay.
And so if you just skip around to different spots, you'll see that he'll switch between instruments. He'll add some guitar. Okay. He'll add some piano. He has vocal chops.
Is French Kiwi Juice wearing a mask?
No.
It looks like he's wearing some sort of a mask.
He's got dreads. He's got dreads.
Okay, so those dreads are natural. Gotcha. Okay. He had a white mask on, it looks like. Maybe not. Maybe he has a very similar setup to you in this living room.
You can see the inspiration.
He has his music lab. Okay, so you and French Kiwi Juice are really in line. This explains a lot of things. Wearing very comfortable loafers. That's nice. Doesn't want to...
Yeah, so it's technically a DJ set, I guess. But he'll add some guitar. He'll make that loop. He'll add some piano. He'll make that loop. He'll add some drums. He'll add some of this. He'll add some bass guitar. He even started learning saxophone.
And he's a straight white man with dreadlocks. What could be wrong?
Yeah, he's great. From Paris.
Very nice. That's big in Paris.
Yeah, big in the
to
European
just try
scene.
to identify as someone who's not a white person.
Yeah.
And they do it with pride, and there's no fault. There's no bloggers to call them out. That's what is nice about Europe, especially France. There's no one to call this guy out for this, and nor should anybody. He's doing a great job. I see the inspiration. He's playing the guitar the entire time. If this is where DJing is going, I'm excited. This is where DJing needs to go.
It's great. It's great. Even at some clubs, they'll have they won't necessarily have someone that's like versatile and fucking multi-instrumentalist as this guy, but like they'll have like a DJ, and they'll start to hire like one or two entertainers, whether it's like a percussionist and a saxophone player,
Sure,
or whatever it may be. But it's starting to be like like DJ plus a couple other things. It's cool he does it all himself. But even in like Miami, different spots in Las Vegas, and even some spots in New Jersey and New York, they'll just have like DJ plus instrumentalists on top of it. But it's cool that he kind of combines it all, does it himself.
French kiwi juice, right? That's it.
French kiwi juice.
Is there anything more acidic than French kiwi juice? Because it already has high acidity. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And on top of it, it's French. That is high acidity. Piercing acidity. Piercing.
You could taste it.
Oh, my God. Speaking of French, I went to a sommelier convention at the end of March.
Nice.
This was a mandatory experience I had to do in order to take my advanced level sommelier test next year. So I am balls deep in the studying of that. And I wanted to ask you as a friend if you ever want to hang out, get drunk, and quiz me on flashcards.
Let's do it.
Because I have about 800 of them already written. But I went to a sommelier convention, and it's funny because, the Court of Masters, they were a little bit... they had a little rough patch during COVID. A couple of their leaders were called out for making a lot of female sommeliers in the industry feel very uncomfortable, and a couple pretty rough things came out. But they handled it the exact way they should have. They had to get rid of some people. They had to take away some master sommelier distinctions for people that violated this policy. A bunch of straight white guys, obviously, as it should be, right? And they put some new faces in power of that, and it was nice. It was really. It was not the boys club anymore that you kind of always felt it was when you started. And I'm sitting here. I'm a straight white dude, right? From the suburbs, come from a ton of privilege, right? And when I first started doing this, even I was like, ugh, this is very like Greenwich sailboaty. Like, this is almost too much for me.
Yep.
'Cause at the end of the day, I am from northern New Jersey. We do have a bit of a grungy edge to us a little bit, My voice constantly sounds like I'm coughing something up, right? It's like I got a little bit of I feel like my parents raised me on a basic level to not be a total flaming douche, right? And I'm still a pretty big douche, but not on the level of what this kind of used to be. And they cleaned house. I was very proud of them. There was the guy to girl ratio there was nice, probably 60 to 40 male to female. Coming from something that used to be probably 90-10.
I believe it.
95-5, you're talking, right? Like 60-40, maybe 70-30, but it felt 60-40 just because, you felt the diversity. And a lot of different walks of life, a lot of different lovely, racially ambiguous looking people. And, the people in charge of it, man, it was so funny, like just reading the description before it. There was a dress code, right? And the dress code, I screenshot it. I should have had it on my phone ready, but it was like, the dress code is, we do not discriminate against any ethnicity, belief, this and that. We do not call a blazer male or female or non-binary. We do not. The entire dress code was, we are scared to say anything. They're like, if you identify as a flower during April when the flowers start to blossom, you should dress as a flower. That's fine, and it was, obviously they need to do that. It was fun just watching, because we kind of make fun of this a lot in the comedy world. It was fun watching them get all woked out on the first day. The first day was 3 hours of look how woke we are now, right?
Yeah.
And they hired some woman who has no wine experience, but she's like the PR, she's like the HR person to just keep them highly woke. Her job is to keep the wokeness at an all-time high. But after the wokeness was over, everybody calmed the fuck down. Everybody took a deep breath. And it was a lovely 3 days of blind tasting wine with master sommeliers. Everybody was very respectful, made a ton of fun connections. The wine industry is going into a good place. It's a bunch of little creative butterflies, a lot of it, which is kind of why I love being in comedy all these years was, surrounded by. It's why you love being in music, I'm sure, is being around by that. The wine industry is moving there. It's a lot of kind of you do you, boo boo. It's a lot of that.
That's
a lot
exciting.
If you do the work, if you know your shit, if you have a legit wine job, it's very much now. 5 years ago, it was you have to follow this, you have to act like this, you have to say this, you have to wear this. All that gone completely out the fucking window. COVID took that and threw it in the trash, and now it's just you do you, boo boo. It's and there's something nice about that, because these people aren't really drunks. You would think sommeliers and most of us were drinking every day, and it's a lot of just tasting and spitting. It's constantly tasting and spitting, and most sommeliers don't really have much of an alcohol problem, because I compared it closely to, I went with my lovely assistant general manager. We and him went to a spirit convention a couple weeks later, and these people are out of their goddamn minds. These people, a very small percent of liquor people actually have a high knowledge base. My AGM is one of those 5% that is very, very knowledgeable, but most of them are just psychotic people with high fades in a nice blazer and skinny acid wash jeans getting hammered on Bacardi. That's a lot of spirit people, right? So it's nice to see where the wine community is going.
That's fun. That almost reminds me of the juxtaposition of if I would go to a keyboard conference.
Yes.
If I go to a keyboard conference, everyone's
it's going to be
they got
this.
a certain level. They got a certain amount. They can play different things,
Yes.
like that. And then I'll go to a music production conference, and those are awesome too. But a lot of people are just I got a keyboard last Thursday. I have 3 singles out on Spotify.
Music production is the spirits people. Is that yes?
Yeah.
100%. The keyboard conference, the nerds that just know every single component of a keyboard, that's the sommelier conference. 100%. 100%. Yeah. So it was interesting. I was in Dallas. I'm just going to say it again. I know I had the rant early on in the podcast about my time in Houston. It's just, I'm just not impressed. It's not a place I want to be. It's not a destination. It's not a place that has as the way it's built, there's just no diversity. It was all built yesterday. It's all about just getting dolled up and going to the local steakhouse. You can do that in Florida. You can do that. You can do that on the East Coast. You can do that near a large body of water.
Yeah. Never has anyone said to me, man, you got to get to Houston. Got to.
Yeah, Houston's rough.
Austin, though, people said you should get to Austin.
Yeah, I know. I don't know which one's worse. I almost feel like I would do better in Houston. After seeing Houston, I haven't spent much time in Austin, but just from what I'm hearing, I think Houston fits me better. It's a little more, because I need a little bit of a douchey food and beverage scene. That's not what Austin is. Austin is, look at this brisket I made in the back of my car. That's kind of what it is. Houston, Austin is striving. They want a culture so bad that it's almost contradicting them having one. Where Houston kind of knows what they are. They know they're a little evil. I think Dallas was similar. Dallas and Houston would be one of the 2 cities I would live in if I was in Texas. I don't think it would be Austin. I don't think it would be Fort Worth. I don't think it would be San Antonio, It would be Dallas or Houston, because I need a nice douchey food and beverage scene. I need to be able to go to a restaurant and order a second growth Bordeaux. I don't want some little cunty natural Bordeaux that's not technically in Bordeaux, and it was made by some hipster who invested in some land, and she's actually from Lebanon. She's not even French. I don't want that. I want a nice second growth Bordeaux that I'm willing to spend $150, $200 on once in a blue with my wife, and I want a nice bone-in ribeye, once in a blue. I don't want the traditional cream, spinach, and mashed potatoes with it. I want some cool sides. I want a little escargot as the appetizer. I want some foie gras if they have it. Steak tartare would be lovely with a nice flavor profile. I don't want the meat and potato sides. I think that, I can't do that. But you need, that's what Houston and Dallas are. It's still an eyes wide shut party, which is okay. Every city that was built on the top 1% being kind of an eyes wide shut party are the cities that can sustain, because there's enough billionaires there to support the rest of the economy. When you have just a little hole in the wall city that was built off of a garage sale, there's not enough sustainability.
Yeah, that sounds even just the idea of like traveling to more cities and tasting more of the food and wine just sounds amazing. Like me, Seth and Lucas were talking about like wanting to travel more. And I think that'd be fun if you came too, and you can help us decide. Like, we'll get like one drink at the bar, and you'll decide like, guys, we can't stay here. We have to go to the next place.
With all due respect, because I love both of you, I want you guys to pick everything else what we do during the day. Just let me pick what we're eating. Just let me pick the restaurants, please. And it's the only thing I know how to do. You know, I'm not making this like I'm this all knowing. I know one thing, so just let me focus on my one thing, and then we can find all the fun things to do during the day that I would never be able to find that you and Seth can figure out. But that would be the move. Houston's cool. My best friend lives down there, and he tries to make everybody feel bad that they don't come down to Houston to see him enough. He puts Houston on a pedestal. It's like, you're from the tri-state area. You're from the best part of the country to live in. So you can come home and see your goddamn family once every few months and hang out with me and my wife, who is also very close friends with you. So it's like this idea that I'm going to use all my travel miles to just go back and forth from Houston to see your ass. I love you to death, but you can calm down. You can calm down. It's not a great city, but it's the best that there is in Texas. There's no great cities in Texas. Dallas and Houston, you just have to be eyes wide open for what they are. That's all. And then you can enjoy Texas, but you don't want to have a delusion that Texas is something that you think it is, that it's clearly not. It's a very basic place. Everything bigger in Texas, including the diabetes and the body fat percentage. Absolutely, there's no culture to everything's bigger, right? Everything's also bigger at McDonald's, right? For a while, everything was supersized to me. That's why they did a documentary about it, right? There's no culture in everything is bigger. There's nothing that just means this is where people that want a nice, easy life to go. No state income tax, no culture of exercise. Just, have a good, high, overpaying job, get a nice high-rise condo, sit back and, go out to an overpriced steakhouse once in a blue. I can enjoy that for 4 days at a time. I can't live in that.
I can't stay there for forever.
Not a place I want to be. But it is what it is. We, at the end of the day, and I know we have to wrap up, but we need to get Seth in this building.
Absolutely. So I think it's worth it. I got you on tutelage. There's one thing I can provide, and I've got. He writes a lot of songs and wants to produce a lot of songs. I can produce music for him.
He would
help him get songs rolling in,
because he would need to pay for studio time if not.
Yeah, so and he did the last time. Yeah, it was like years ago. He paid me for a little bit of studio time. He's we've been talking about doing more. Like living in, I can try.
You put studio time into the rent. You don't discount the rent. He pays the same that Lucas pays. Maybe a little more. I'm not gonna. That's your decision, not mine. You are the leader of the household, but the studio time is priceless. Throw that in there.
Yeah, so we got tutelage, about studio time. Then number 3, there is an upright piano in his bedroom. That he can play. He can wake up and play and make little videos with it. He loves creating content. He can make cool videos in there, make videos down here and stuff.
It's the perfect situation. Now, without talking any numbers, is the rent for him? Do you feel it's affordable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is something based on his current lifestyle and his current means of income, which I am not 100% aware of. This would be an affordable lifestyle for him. Okay. Well,
I might try to scoop him up and help him out a little bit. We'll see what happens. Be good vibes in here.
You need to put me in a room with him. You gotta let's take him out the K-pot and we'll sit down. We'll get him some nice ribeyes and some sake in a system, and I will pitch a very non-numbers based sales pitch for why this needs to happen. And then you can be ready with the 3-year contract, and you can start talking numbers, break down. You can also, we could do. He could do a 3-year fixed or a 5-year fixed, right? We could make this like a mortgage, and we just get him committed. We'll have a little spot to sign in ink, a little spot to sign in blood, and then we get that signature, and we get the process going. Get the stress out of your life.
I'm excited. I think it'll happen.
I do. I think so too. Any thoughts, feedback from our listeners? How you think we could get Robbie, his new future roommate? Let us know. DM us at the Digestif. This has been the Digestif. As always, I'm Sam Mushman. Robbie Sko to my left. You can follow us on Instagram, _Digestif. DM us at the Digestif. Give us some advice of how we could lure Seth into this living situation. It will be great for the show. It will be great for the Music Lab. It will be great for Robbie's sanity.
Keep the Music Lab alive.
Keep it alive, because if not, I will start recruiting roommates, and you don't want me to start doing that, because I will be bringing in a motley crew that would be open to living here. So to help protect me and Robbie's friendship, give us your thoughts and feedback. Until next time.
Cheers.
It's been real. Thank you.